panelists think about some of the coming technological advancements, such as the iPod, the Kindle, and the recent released iPad, and how this affects the way comics are distributed and sold. Do we believe a suitable monetized platform can exist? How is this going to affect print comics? How does it affect, pirating? Just a general broad statement from any and all of our panelists, please.
Well, in terms of pirating, so many people are putting comics online for free on their website anyway, so that's almost a non-issue. In terms of the readers that I've seen so far, like Comixology and Panelfly, which are readers available for the iPhone, and they're going to be available on the iPad. The technology is young. It definitely feels like it's first generation. It's certainly not as enjoyable as reading a paper comic, and I'm sure that worldwide sales would indicate that's true, that a lot more people are buying books in print than they are buying them online. But if that's where publishing as a whole is going, comics is a portion of publishing, so it's probably going to move in that direction also, and it's something that I personally am very interested in. I don't love the way that it looks now. Like I said before, I didn't even like the idea of reading comics on a screen, but suddenly I find myself looking at a screen for 12 hours a day, and anytime I can waste reading comics on that, so much the better.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a valid medium for comics, and I can just see it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I hope that print media doesn't go away entirely, because I really enjoy the experience of reading a book. So fingers crossed.
I don't think print media is going away, but yeah, I do think, well, for example, Japan, just the sales of comics on mobile phones just surpassed the sales of print comics in Japan, which is the largest comic market in the world. So, people are going to be adopting that technology, but I don't. It's going to the content is going to exist across multiple platforms.
Any thoughts on that?
Well, I guess as a retailer who's 100% invested in print, I hope the technology fails utterly. But I also know that's not realistic. So I just have to be optimistic and hope that it does as much or more to attract readers to different books that they are willing to buy in print than it will to take away readers who don't want to spend the money on the print and read it online. The future is uncertain. I have no idea. But we'll just keep doing what we're doing, unless I can find some way to get a piece of that, and I have no idea.
The people who will get rich are the people who are doing who are creating the platforms, but not the artists, unfortunately, or the retailers.
Please, question right here.
With respect to the brick and mortar store, I have seen video footage of a bookstore that had a vending machine that printed books. Somebody would order a book and it would spit it out, it would print it, find it, and spit it out. I mean, is that?
The Harvard Bookshop actually has one of these. If you want to go check it out, they have a robot, thing that creates a book for you on demand.
It feels a little steampunk.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like the most efficient way to get a book.
I mean, it's fantastic for out-of-print books, and for if you want to self-publish a book and you just want to be able to tell your friends, hey, you can go to the Harvard Bookshop and get my book. But you don't want to actually print it. It's great for that stuff. Right now, print on demand, the prices are pretty outrageous for reselling and making any profit. It's not there yet. Yeah, actually, well, it depends on the book. But I priced out King Lear if I was going to do it on Lulu just to see, and it was like $14.
Can you clarify print on demand versus offset printing?
Yeah, so print on demand would be digital printing, where they can print just one book. Whereas the traditional way of printing a book is offset, where you sort of start this giant press going, and you pretty much can't even stop it until it's already printed 500 books. And the unit cost on the traditional printing is much, much lower. I ended up offset, printing King Lear offset, and of course for me, publishing a very small print run, it was like $3 a book. And for my publisher, when they go to China, they're paying like 50 cents a book. So it's way cheaper, but you have to print a lot. And if you're a self-publisher, the idea of printing 4,000 King Lear, books of King Lear like I did, the only reason I could do that is because I already had some books in the bookstore, and so I knew the actual book distributors would carry it, and I still didn't make very much money doing it.